What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another video. If you're new to the channel, my name is JR and I did 10 years in the Georgia Department of Correction, and I share prison stories. I let y'all know what was going on while I was behind the walls. Now this story today, man, this took place when I was at Smith State Prison, and this is another Detroit story, man. For those who've been following me, been along my journey since I first started doing this YouTube or taking it seriously, y'all know I've been sharing stories about that boy Detroit. Now this is another one. So come on, let me take y'all to the dorm, man, and tell y'all how this go down. So I remember we at Smith State Prison, man, and for a long time we didn't really get no yard call. We wasn't getting no wreck like that. You know, sometime administration, the first thing they'll scream out, we short staff. We ain't got enough staff. We ain't got no sergeants or no lieutenants to run the big yard. And at this time, they had pretty much kind of closed down the small yard because there was so much violence going on. When they have those small yards open, man, dudes will get into it back there, and dudes will end up pouring dudes out, and police be all the way up front or all the way on the other side of the dorm. So they pretty much closed the small yard down. So we wasn't worried about no small yard, but we always wanted to go to the big yard on weekends. Now sometimes they might run D building and F building, and we over there in E building where I was at the time, we might not get no yard call. So guys was stressing the yard call, and it was basketball season. And you know how guys is. Guys are in prison. They ain't really got nothing much to do. We'll watch basketball all day. Guys be betting their soups, betting their all PayPal at the time, because we was using PayPal at the time. Guys betting big money, talking trash, you know, all that stuff go on. So Detroit was a solid basketball player. He was good, but he was real solid basketball player. And I told y'all, Detroit was about 6'4", 6'5", man, push about 225, real big dude, man, bald head, just had this mean look on his face all the time. And you had another guy named Trey. Now, Trey had been down for a while, just like Detroit. At the time, Detroit had probably been down about 17, 18 years. And Trey hadn't been down around the same time. Mind you, these two guys hadn't been to other camps with each other. Because when I hear them talking about basketball while I'm down there at the sports TV, and y'all know I'm a Boston Celtics fan, so whenever Boston is playing, whenever Beantown is playing, I'm down there at the TV like this, putting in my little 2 cents, talking my little trash. So I always hear these guys. I used to hear Detroit tell Trey, man, I've been beating you, man. I've been beating you since 2009. Been beating you since way back then. Since 2009? Man, y'all been riding. These folks been riding for a long time, and that's how they talk. So it was a build up, man. These guys would always get into it, always talking trash, always betting money, and they always going back and forth. Sometimes Trey will win, sometimes Detroit will win. But both of these guys had stuff going on in the chain gang. They could afford to do that. Both of them had a phone at that particular time. So, you know, they was getting a little money. They'll bet their money. They'll pay each other when each other lose. Now, Detroit used to take stuff so serious. Detroit was like, man, wait till they call this yard call this weekend. I'm going to make sure Lieutenant them call this yard call this weekend. And I remember when we went to Chow that Friday, Detroit was out there, man. He don't normally go to Chow, but I remember him saying, I'm going to Chow today. I'll make sure I see Lieutenant on the walk. I know he working this weekend because, you know, they got these shifts where if you work, it'd be the same officer that work Monday, Tuesday, then they'll go on a break and they'll come back and work the weekend, which is Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and then they'll rotate the next week. So Detroit, I guess he was real cool with the lieutenant who was working that shift for the Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. So Detroit actually came out there to child call and telling the lieutenant, like, hey, make sure you got this run this yard call, man. I got me a duck out here, man. I got to win me some money. And you know how these lieutenants is. They'll talk trash to you, man. Hey, make sure I get something up out of it. That's how he was talking. But Detroit was like, make sure you run this yard call, man. He was like, man, I'm going to see what I could do, man. You know, we short staff. Always screaming that. Now, we go back to the dorm that night. Basketball again. These folks active out there. They live talking smack to each other all the time. Okay. Next day comes. Saturday, early morning. They started running yard call, but they started in D building. Y'all know Detroit. He was the first one up there at the window. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Hey man, call LT, man. Tell LT we trying to go to the yard. So the officer at the time was telling him like, hey, y'all gonna get yard call, man. Just relax. That's when Detroit went to waking everybody up in the dorm, man. Waking everybody up. Y'all get up, man. We finna get yard call, man. Y'all come out here. We finna run this yard call. We finna run this yard. He specifically was waking up Trey. He was calling Trey, hey man, get your B ass up. That's what he was saying to him. Mind you, that's just how they talk to each other. He really didn't mean it in a disrespectful way. Now, with Detroit, you will definitely know when Detroit is disrespecting you, because he ain't put no cut on nothing, man. When he disrespecting you, he gonna tell you straight to your face. No prettying it up or nothing like that. Anyways, they end up calling yard call like an hour after that. We go out there to the yard. These guys, mind you, we just got a half court now. This is a half court. It's not a full court. It's just a big yard. We not in the gym. We just got this half court. So, they picking up their little 4-and-4 aside. Mind you, these guys they run the first game. I go out there to play soccer. It wasn't enough Hispanics in the dorm at the time that played soccer. It was just like 2 or 3 of us, so it really didn't make no sense. I would just linger around the basketball court. Plus, I wanted to see all this excitement. Now, sometimes I like to relax and see these guys play basketball, because they be going back and forth. And some of them, you got some real good basketball players behind the walls. Mind you, I wasn't a basketball player, but I'll get out there and I'll do my little thing. I was known for snatching them rebounds. Yeah, I'm tall, I could jump a little bit. I snatch them rebounds. I probably could make 1 out of 10 shot. So I was out there. They ran the first game. Detroit and them won the first game. But somebody on Detroit team, ankle was hurting, so he had to come off. That's when Detroit looked at me. He was like, hey, Jamaica, man, come on, man. So I'm like, nah, man, I'm good. He's like, man, get your tall ass out here, man. Snatch these rebounds on me. So I'm like, man, I really don't feel like playing. He's like, man, come on, man. I got this money on the line, man. I'm going to break you off something. So I was like, all right, man, I really don't need nothing, but I'm going to get out here and play. So we get out there and play, man. Boom. We got out there and play. Like I said, Detroit won the first game. Trey and them end up winning the second game. Now the third game, man, it was real intense. And Detroit, he was crashing the board. Mind you, I'm going up trying to get rebound. This man bumping me out the way. Boom. Snatching rebounds off the board. Boom. He going back up. I remember one time he put the ball back on the ground. He going back up. Trey tried to guard him. Now Detroit, he played bullet ball. He like this. Boom. Throwing bows and everything. I'm like, bro, you can't do that, man. In a real game, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. On number 2. Yeah. Foul. Get over there. You know what I'm saying? But Detroit, he don't play, man. He's like, boom, bullet ball. Boom. Go back up. Boom. And he kept doing that the whole time. I remember one time he told me, hey, man, Jamaica, get out the hole, man. Get out the hole. And his point guard knew exactly how he played. So every time his point guard get the ball, the point guard will go up there at the top of the key, and Detroit just be like this, waiting for it. He'll get that rock in one hand like this. Once he get it in one hand, whoever is behind him, he gonna give you one of them bowls real quick. Boom. And then he'll get to putting the ball on the floor. And that's how he was killing him. He was killing him like that the whole game, for the whole third game. Mind you, Trey was mad. He upset. He talking trash to his team. Man, y'all making me lose my money. Y'all making Detroit down here eating like that. Let me get back on him. Let me get back on him. Now he get back on him, bro. The fourth game, Detroit went to doing the same thing, man. Bowing him. Boom. Now Trey, he started bodying Detroit back. Every time Detroit would get the ball, he'd put him in the back. He'd push him in the back like this. Boom. Now this got Detroit to be upset. And if you've been around Detroit and you know Detroit, he'll get upset real quick. And he started really getting mad. Man, you pushing me. Now in my mind, I'm like, Detroit, you can't be mad, because you down here throwing them bows. That's how you throwing them. You can't do that in a basketball game, man. They're going to call you for a take, bro. Intentional fouling. You cannot do that. Anyways, him and Trey back there going at it to the point, bro, where it got real intense, where they actually got in each other's face. When Detroit ended up got the ball just like this, like he always do, and Trey pushed him in the back. Detroit threw the ball over there by the fence and turned around and squared up with Trey like, what's up? And Trey wasn't no scary dude, but Trey wasn't a fighter. But before it could even get like that, you had guys, they get in the middle like, man, y'all just chill, man. We just playing basketball, man. Let it go. Let it go. Calm down. Started back the game. Detroit went to doing the same thing, bro. Went feeding them, racking them, boom. It's over with. They call yard call. That boy Trey had to pay that $200. As soon as we go in the dorm, Detroit like, man, make sure you send that, man. Make sure I get that right away. So Trey was like, man, you ain't got to worry about nothing. My money good, man. My money good. So, you know, Detroit, bro. Detroit is always trying to apply major pressure. He's one of these guys that if he smell fear on you, bro, he's gonna pounce on it like right away. He's gonna be right on it. And Trey I guess he sensed like a little bit of nervousness coming from Trey. Cause Detroit he's just an angry dude, man. He be talking loud, he be getting mad, he be smacking dudes in the dorm. He always do that. And that also intimidates other people while he's doing that to other guys. Trey had ended up sending him his money. They still talking trash. That's when Trey told him, like, play me one-on-one. Play me one-on-one. I don't want nobody else to make me lose. Cause that's when Trey went to blaming his team for making him lose like that. So Trey was like, play me one-on-one. Let's go one-on-one. So that's when Detroit was like, oh, you don't want it one-on-one. You already see how I was doing you out there. I was rocking you like a baby, man. I was putting you down to the hole, bodying you. So that's when Trey was telling, man, all you were doing was throwing a whole bunch of blows. You can't do that in a regular game with referees. You playing bullet ball. That's when Detroit was like, man, this is chain gang, man. This ain't the NBA. This ain't the high school or the collegiate league. You playing chain gang ball. This what go on. These are chain gang rules that you're playing by. And that's when I realized, I was like, yeah, but Detroit was overly doing it. Yeah, real overly doing it. And because he know that guys was real scared of him, he'll do that to his advantage, man. Not everybody just going to be down there throwing them big old bows like that. Folks ain't going to do that, man. You can't really do that like that. Anyways, next morning they started running yard call again. And guess who was up before Detroit was up? Trey was up, fully active, ready to go, laced up. He had a New Balance, some high top New Balances on, laced up, ready to go. So everybody was pretty much up, bro. Everybody was hyped. I wanted to go out there and see it because I know Trey, bro. Trey is a real shooter. Once Trey get that ball like that, or they even by that 3-line or something, he gonna be like, whoop. That thing be like water, bro. He don't play. He'll shoot your lights out now. He's known for that, bro. I done seen him win plenty of chain gang leagues while I was at Smith, just like that, for the dorm or whatever dorm he was in. He was known for shooting your lights out. I don't care what it is. That man would just come down the court, half court, pulling up like he's Chef Curry or something, whipping that thing up. That's just how he was. Now, when we go out there to the yard, mind you, other guys wanted to play, but guys know it's money on the line. These folks had done double the pot from 200 to 400. So it was time to go. So guys came out there, suited and booted, ready to play. Man, y'all know what it is, man. Y'all just got to sit down somewhere. Me, I just took my corner, bro, getting ready to watch the game. Man, boom, they started, bro. Trey had the ball first, off top. Once Trey got the ball like that, Trey went like this and went to hit him. Boom, dead in his face, straight from top of the key. Boom, that thing was like water. So Trey went to talking trash, like, yeah, this what it is. Man, Trey had went up like 3 points on him ASAP. Now Detroit, that's when Detroit got mad. He's always getting his feelings. He always getting mad, man. As soon as Trey got the ball, he was up on Trey like this. So Trey like, man, give me some room, man. You can't do that. Up on him just like that. Smacked the ball out of his hand. Boom, smacked it out of his hand. Took the ball and just went to lay it up. So everybody was looking like, man, you can't really do that. But nobody's not really saying nothing because nobody wants to get Detroit upset. So Trey was like, okay, that's how you playing. So Detroit got the ball. Once he got the ball, you know what he doing. He backing him down straight to the paint. That's how he was. Backing him down straight to the paint. I remember he used to try this little turnaround weak jumper. He tried it, like he KD or something. That shit was not dropping for him, bro. And Trey went to taking him out. Went to talking trash to him all over the court, man. Trey was dropping him off. Boom. All over the court. Boom. Trey won that first game, man. I think Detroit only scored like 1 point that first game. And you know the trash talking level was all the way up. Now, Detroit started out with the ball the second game. I ain't gonna lie. He came out revenge. He came out with blood in his eyes. He was ready to go back, his game, back down. And guess what? He racked Trey. Yeah, he racked him to sleep that second game. Now, that third game, now these boys was playing ball. They was playing real ball. These boys was crossing each other up and playing real intense game, man. I remember they was tied to like 7-7 or 8-8 or something like that. And they actually, bro, these actually started like they was really just about to fight, bro. That's how they started getting, because the game was so intense. Detroit, he went to throwing them bows, and Trey, he went to pushing him in the back. But that's just how it is, man. The game's gonna get like that, and they went to going. But I ain't gonna lie, Trey end up hitting him, man. I'm talking about real splash, bro, for that last point. Boop, straight up there from top of the key. That thing like water. The whole yard erupted. And that got Detroit upset, man. He was like, man, run it back. But when he talking about run it back, guess what? The officer came out there. Yard call. Yeah, she went to blowing that little whistle. Yard call. Y'all get off the yard. Detroit like, man, come on, man. Run it back, man. My money on the line. Run it back. So Trey like, man, it's yard call, bro. It's over with. Trey was like, man, it's over with. Y'all call, bro. Same thing yesterday, man. Just send my money when you get in there, man. So Detroit was like, man, you ain't talking about nothing, man. That little money ain't nothing. So we go back in the dome, and it's guys in the dome that didn't really come to the yard call. And where our dome was, you could really just see out there on the yard anyways. So guys was watching from inside the dome. A lot of guys didn't come out there. So, once we go in the dome, it's a whole nother set of guys that's talking trash. So you had some guys in there, oh, hey, that boy Trey got there, was out there splashing like Steph Curry. And that instantly got Detroit mad, man. He got upset. Now Detroit is real emotional, man. This man get upset about everything. He's like, man, nigga, you ain't getting nothing. I ain't sending nothing. So Trey was like, man, I ain't worried about that, man. You got to send that money, man. You know what's up. You want to huff and puff and do all that. Make sure you send that money, man. We've been doing this since '09, man. We've been going at it, man. You always do this. Just send that money, man. So Detroit like, man, I ain't sending nothing. So Trey was like, man, I ain't worried about it, man. Just send that money, man. You know what it is. It's a bet, bro. But that's just how Detroit is, bro. I seen Detroit do that. That's just how Detroit is. He felt like he lost, like down bad. Even though he wasn't down bad, he'll try to buck on you, man. I done seen him press dudes about stuff that he was in the wrong about. But that was Detroit. If he felt like he could beat you, he gonna try you, man. And this is what he was doing with Trey. But Trey wasn't feeding into it. Trey was like, man, just send my money. And I remember Trey getting his stuff to go to the shower. And you had some of the Crip dudes, because Trey was actually Crip. And he was getting ready to go to the shower. You had some of the dudes walking with him. He was like, man, I don't want no shower duty, man. We ain't on no violence, or we ain't beefing or nothing like that, man. That man gonna send my money whenever he calm down and get off that little rowdy stuff. He gonna send that money. And that's when Detroit was like, man, nigga, I ain't sending no money, man. I told you I ain't sending no money, man. It's over with, man. You can see me in the room or whatever. So Trey was like, man, I'm not finna fight with you, man. You could keep that little money, man. If you want to get mad, you still lost, nigga. You still lost. So while Trey went to the shower, taking a shower, this nigga Troy outside pacing. Yeah, he just pacing, bro. Walk around the dome just like this. Still got his basketball shoes on, no shirt on, you know what I'm saying? Still got his basketball shorts and all that on, just walking around. So Trey came out the shower, Trey walked into his room. Now Trey wasn't stupid. He know Detroit is real stupid, and Detroit will just pop off at any given time. I remember when Trey walked out the shower, Detroit, he walking across the room like this, and Detroit was coming like this. Did what Trey did. Trey went right back to the shower until Detroit passed. When he passed, he just walked like that. Boom. This nigga Troy continued walking around, bro. Boom, Trey came back out. He's like, man, you ain't calmed down yet, man. When you calm down, go ahead and get that PayPal, man. Let me get them numbers, man, so I could drop that paper in my account, man. So Detroit was just walking around mad. Steam. He had a bald head, bro. You literally could down there see steam coming off his head, just how mad he was. And now Trey has started to laugh and started to joke about it a little bit more, man. And that's when Trey, I guess he was making a soup or something, a noodle or something, and actually went back in his room. And while Detroit was busting laps, bro, Detroit just fell off in his room. Detroit fell off in that man's room, bro. And all you heard in there was And that's when Trey was like, damn, nigga, you doing it like that? Man, it ain't nothing but a basketball game, bro. You keep that little money. But you could tell them boys was hitting in there, bro. Even though you could tell that Detroit was getting the best of him, man. Detroit was like, nigga, you know I don't play that shit. You talking all that shit. So that's when Trey went to talking too. Like, nigga, you talking shit too. What you ain't? I ain't supposed to say nothing. They hit. Boom, 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 boom. That's when you had some of the Crips. They kind of fell by the door. But mind you, there wasn't a lot of Crips in there. Man, it's about 30 GDs in this dorm, man. Instantly, these folks will go crazy about Detroit. These folks grouped up so fast by the door, bro. Them little Crips in there, they had to hold their little corner like this until Detroit came out the room. Detroit was like, man, this thing ain't talking about nothing, man. He ain't talking about nothing. And went to walk around the dorm again. Trey came out. Man, bro, ain't no way you doing that like that. So Detroit was like, man, I'm going to send you them punk ass 400, man. I'm going to send you them punk ass 400. I just want you to know it ain't going down like that. It ain't going down like that. So in my mind, I'm like, what you mean it's not going down like that? The man beat you fair and square. You went in there and beat the man up. And now you talking about you finna send him the 400. You talking about it ain't going down like that. Bro, you should have just sent the man the 400 right off top. You ain't had to go in there and beat the man up. A loss is a loss, bro. And that's how it is in chain gang. For guys who gamble, certain guys will not gamble certain guys because they cannot take a loss, bro. When certain guys take a loss, they are not going to pay up. If they feel like you're soft or you don't have the numbers to back you, or they belong to a certain type of group or organization, and they feel like you ain't got nobody to ride with you, they will try to buck on you. And that's how Detroit was. Detroit was famous for that. That's why a lot of people did not like betting with Detroit. Sometimes Detroit would come out to the sports TV, man, with a big old net bag full of food, $67 in food, and talking about who want to bet. And other guys would just bet other guys around him. Guys are like, man, I'm not betting you, man. Because guess what? When guys are up under the TV and when they're betting, they're going to be trash talking. When your team is going down, dude's going to trash talk you. That's just a part of the game. That's a part of the betting game. And Detroit would always be in his feelings. He don't like to be in trash talk to, but he like to trash talk to people. So guys didn't like to bet with him. Guys would bet around him, and he didn't like that. He used to always be like, man, y'all some P, man. Y'all don't want to bet against me. Y'all don't want to bet me. Y'all want to do this. Y'all want to do that. That's just how guys knew he was a live wire. That's exactly what he was. So guys would just stay away from him, avoid all confrontation. But because Trey been knowing him from way back when, you know what I'm saying, it was like nothing. I guess they've been going through the same stuff from way back when, but Detroit didn't actually grow out of this stuff. You know, a lot of guys in chain gang, they'll grow out of the little young wild ways, but not Detroit, man. Detroit will not grow out of that. I seen Detroit in plenty of situations, man. This man did not play, man. This man be pressing everything on compound. I don't care who it is. If you was getting the pack in and you really wasn't on your solid game like that, he pressing you. This man was pressing bloods, bro. Pressing other GDs. Pressing white boys. He did not play. He was pressing civilians who was getting the pack in. He did not play, man. Major press game, but he usually be in his feelings about losing, man. You cannot be like that. That's why guys did not like to gamble with him and not like to bet against him, man. But that's Detroit for you, man. And that's the story for today. I appreciate y'all checking out the channel, man. A lot of love, man. A lot of peace. A lot of respect, man, and y'all continue praying for Jamaica, man. You know, we've been getting a lot of support from the world. I really appreciate it. Anybody from any country who done donated anything, man, as small as it could be, man, I appreciate it. On the behalf of Jamaica, I'm telling you, thank you, man.